Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Facebook Live that's part of my summer series here on Facebook. Let me show you a little bit of what's going on in the month of August for my second annual summer series. While I give you just a few minutes to hop on if you wanted to watch this live. If you're watching the replay, feel free to tag your friends or make comments, ask me questions. I will definitely be checking back in the comment section after the live is ended. But tonight we're going to be talking about status of the class. Hi, Carolyn. Welcome to tonight's live. We're going to be talking about status of the class, and we're going to be talking about what that is and why you should be doing it and how you can do it. And I'll be giving you some free resources for that as well. I also have some upcoming Facebook Lives that you can see in this calendar. So I'm going to take that down now, though. I'm going to pull up today's Facebook Live. So we're talking about how to do a status of the class. If you're just joining, feel free to say hello. I see Carolyn's already jumped on. That's awesome. And hi, Lorraine. I see you on here too. Great to see you. Oh, I actually have to take this down for a second because I got to bring it back a little bit. So bear with me. Oh, wrong one. Okay, that goes back down. Oh, no, that is the right one. Now I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. There we go. Okay. Hi, Candy. Welcome. So here we are. Status of the class. We are going to be talking about that today. And these are the pages that I'm going to be giving you. I'll give you a link to these pages in just a minute when we get off the talk. It's not going to be that long tonight, just a couple minutes. But here is my first page for you tonight. Hi, Michelle. Welcome. My first page just gives kind of an overview of what status of the class is. And basically, there's two ways that I define it. So the first thing I have on our sheet here that you're going to get a copy of it is status of the class is a way to informally assess your students, assessing their perceptions of their understanding around a certain topic or skill or words. Hi, Jenny or Jeannie. Nice to see you. So that's what a status of the class is. It's an informal assessment of what your students perceive that topic is or those words are about. It also is a time where the teacher asks the class questions about a lesson or a unit and asks the students to share their perceptions for each question. So why should we do status of the class? I love status of the class. Why we should do it is there's three reasons I have for you tonight. Number one, it gives you the opportunity to see how students feel about a lesson or about a unit before you even start. So you can kind of get a scope of how they're feeling about that topic or those words before you even begin. Also, it tells you how confident they are about that topic. So how do they feel about whatever the unit is or the lesson that you're going to teach? How confident are they about that? And you can also use their responses to drive your instruction. So you can use the status of the classes to drive your instruction. And what I mean by that, for example, is if there's a lot of students that say they don't know much about a certain topic or an idea, then you can focus on that area a little bit more in your lesson or as you reteach or throughout the week. So they're going to actually be able to tell you what they feel strongly about and what they kind of don't really know a lot about, which gives you a lot of clear direction on where you want to take your lesson right there. Hello, Amber, Nancy, Jaleesa, and Mary Ellen and Donna. I love that you're all saying hello to me. I'm so glad you're here. And then the last thing on this page is, when should you do a status of the class? There's two different times you should do a status of the class. The first time is at the beginning of a lesson or a unit, and you might not do it every day. You probably won't do it every day, but maybe when you start a new unit or you start a new week of something, you might take a status of the class before you start any of the lessons. And then you can do it again at the end of your unit or at the end of the day, the end of your lessons, and compare the students' responses. And you can really kind of get a really good pre-test and post-test of how they feel about that skill or that lesson that you're doing, which is really cool. Hi, Jerry. Nice to see you. So this is the second page. I put together some status of the class pages for you. This one is for the reading workshop. So what it says basically is you're going to introduce your mini lesson, and I made a space for you to put your mini lesson in. Hi, Ashley. I made a space for you to put your mini lesson in. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask the students to vote on their understandings of each part of the topic. So you can also do this again at the end, it says, of the lesson or unit when you complete the classwork. Show the results to the class, discuss and reflect them and your new learning. So let me give you an example. This is an example for reading. So here's my mini lesson for reading. I have readers understand how to analyze a text so they can think more deeply about what they read. So they're analyzing the text to think more deeply about what they read. That's what our lesson's going to be. So before the lesson, I can break this down and I can ask the kids questions like this to kind of get an idea, a feel of what they already know. Boys and girls, raise your hand if you think you know a lot about what the word analyze means. If you think you do not, do you not know what analyze means? Have you never heard it before? Raise your hand. We're just going to take a little vote. And I'll write down how many people raise their hand. And then I'll say, raise your hand if you've heard the word analyze before, but you don't know it that well. You've never really used it. And then they'll raise their hand. I'll take a little vote. And this is just all based on their opinion. So they're going to vote somewhere. They have to vote somewhere. And then I'll say, raise your hand if you think you know it, but you're not 100% sure about what analyze means. And raise your hand if you know what analyze means and you do it all the time. So I'll take a little vote there. I can do that before the lesson, and then I can do it after and see how their votes kind of change too, which is really fun. And then I'll say the next topic, thinking more deeply. Okay, raise your hand if you don't know a lot about what I mean when I say thinking more deeply. And then raise your hand if you've heard people say you should be thinking more deeply, but you really don't know how to do that. Raise your hand. So you see how I can go through these kind of 3 different sections of my reading workshop lesson and kind of get a scope and an idea before I even go into my lesson or in my unit of what they can do or what they feel like they can do or not. I have one for the writing workshop as well. So you get a page for the writing workshop. You can try that out. And also I have an example for you with the mini lesson. So this mini lesson was writers develop heroes for their traditional literature story so that they can create strong characters for their story. So I broke this one down talking about traditional literature. Do you know what that means? Have you heard that before? How well do you know what traditional literature actually means? And what about heroes in stories? What do you know about heroes in stories? And I can do a little class status there. And creating strong characters. How do you feel as a writer? Do you feel like you're good at creating strong characters and you've done it before? And I can ask these questions to kind of prepare myself for what I know they're going to need support with in the lesson. And then the last subject I have for you tonight is for vocabulary. And if you do vocabulary instruction, you can put the words all in here that you're going to teach. And at the beginning of the week, you can do a status of the class. And then at the end of the week, you can do it again after you've done all of your lessons and see how the kids compare their votes. I have an example that I'm giving you tonight too from a really awesome teacher that she did in her class. She realized too that she was doing tally marks. And she realized that it was taking her too long to do that. So she decided to just start putting the numbers of votes down. But she asked her class to vote on all of these words. And it took her about five minutes, maybe a few minutes longer. But she did it at the beginning of the week. And then at the end of the week, she asked them again. And she could see how many kids really felt more confident with the words that they were using. And this is great because if you look at it right away at the beginning of the week, she can tell which words they're not very confident with in their vocabulary, and she can really focus on those during the lessons throughout the week too, which is really neat. So if you have any other questions for me, you can ask them in the question section, but I see Carolyn, your question here. She said, what if they say, bleh, hope it's not adios lesson. No, I tell them they have to vote. They have to pick one of the 4. So they have to vote on which one it is. Everybody has to have at least one vote. And what I'll do sometimes to check that is at the end of our voting, our tallies, I'll count up how many I have. Okay, there's 20 of us. We should have 20 votes. Who didn't vote? Somebody voted twice. You guys can't vote twice. So I'll do stuff like that too. You might have to do that the few times you do it at first to get them to realize what they're supposed to be doing. Let me put the link in so you can get that freebie. And that's coming up in the comments. There is a weird delay on live, so it might take just a second to pop up. But there it is. I see it right there. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's a Louis Vuitton one. We don't want that. Ha! I sent a link to a purse. That's hilarious. Hold on. Let me look at a different one. You guys don't want that. Hold on. Doo-doo-doo. That's hilarious. There's the one you need. Right there. It should pop up. Where'd it go? There it is. That's the one you need. That'll take you to the Google Drive, and that will take you to the status of the class that you need. All right, well, that's all I have for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoy that, and hopefully you can come back and see me in another Facebook Live that I have next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Take care, everybody, and I will talk to you later. Bye.